The tender love of education in SDO Isabela. Technology and livelihood education.
Technology and livelihood education.
TLE, your choice,
Your choice,
your skill.
your skill. Magandang araw!
Ito ang EPP, Edukasyong Pantahanan at Pangkabuhayan.
Handa na ba kayo?
Maging responsable sa paggamit ng ICT.
Be a successful entrepreneur.
Paunlarin ang kabuhayan.
Pagpaparami ng mga alagang hayop.
And that's our lesson for today.
The tender love of education in SDO Isabela.
EPP TLE. Your choice, your skill.
Education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of fire. Good morning, grade 8 learners. Welcome to another on-air session filled with new and exciting learning experiences prepared just for you. I hope you are having a marvelous day. I am your mentor on duty in this episode of Animal Production in TLE. Your choice, your skill. I am Ma'am Johanna R. Caro. I know that you're extremely excited for this fun-filled learning experience. So, stay tuned and let's get started. During the last episode, we have discussed the preventive maintenance of tools and equipment. Tools and equipment are specifically designed for a specific purpose. Hence, choosing the correct tool and equipment decreases the amount of time and effort required to get a job done right. There are thousands of tools and equipment used in raising animals. Whether physical equipment that is needed to perform a task or different applications to facilitate processes at work, it is important for any animal production venture to use the correct tools and equipment to address specific jobs. We have also learned the basic materials used to sharpen cutting tools, and these are sandpaper, whetstone, oil, and rugs. We also discussed that vice and clamps are useful tools to hold your cutting tools tightly while being sanded or cleaned. We also examined the different steps in prolonging the useful life of tools that will reduce time and effort at work, and these are the following. First, prepare all the materials needed to clean and sharpen tools. Sandpaper, whetstone, oil, and rugs are the basic materials used to sharpen cutting tools. Second, select a place in your shop where you can position your tools sturdily. Vice and clamps are useful tools to hold your cutting tools tightly while being sanded or cleaned. Third, dismantle cutting tools like head shears to clean conveniently. Fourth, sand the tools carefully to remove the rust. Use whetstone to sharpen tools like knives, bolos, and shears. It can be applied with lubricating oil to prevent the formation of rust. Finally, clean tools thoroughly and keep it in a dry place in the tool room. This time, let us check your quiz last meeting. Are you ready? Okay, number 1 to 5, the answer is true. Number 6 to 10, it is false. Count the number of correct answers. Who got a perfect score? Wow, good job! Congratulations! For those who got lower score, do not give up. You must strive hard to make it up for the next quiz. Fighting! Okay, that's it. Good to know that you still remember the preventive maintenance for tools and equipment that we have discussed during the last episode. In today's episode,
Elena, have you washed your hands already? Oh yes, Karen. Me too. We need to always wash our hands with soap and water to kill germs and bacteria and to keep us away from COVID-19. You're right, Elena. Proper hand washing is a protection against COVID-19. This information is from the Department of Health, Department of Education, and this station.
They say knowledge is power in this world full of devour. Be prepared in mind and never get reckless. We'll conquer the world. Let's be educated. Education is indeed a key to success. Education must continue despite of the pandemic. A simple reminder from the Department of Education and this station.
Good morning, Miss Santos.
Oh, good morning to Mrs. Cruz. What can I do for you?
I just want to ask, ma'am, are we the ones to teach our children at home during this pandemic?
As we have already given the modules, we encourage you to guide your child for them to complete all the given activities. Do not worry because instructions are clearly provided in their self-learning materials. Just provide your child the necessary adult supervision while doing the task. If you have queries, you can always reach me. We cannot do anything but to follow the new normal way of learning. Worry not, if everyone stays at home, COVID-19 will go away.
Thank you, Mrs. Santos. I promise to guide my child the best way I can. Have a good day, Mom.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mrs. Cruz. Likewise, keep safe.
In DepEd, modular learning under the new normal is one of the modalities. Sulong Edukalidad. We recover as one. A friendly reminder from the Department of Education and this station.
Tayo na sa Radyo Eskwela. Tayo na!
Episode, we will focus on performing estimation and basic calculations in animal production. The farming system as a whole and animal production in particular is influenced by external factors including government policy on rural development, livestock development, programs, and marketing. The analysis of production should be simple to suit the needs of backyard and small-scale poultry raisers. Solving for the ROI or return of investment, FCR or feed conversion ratio, and some common surface areas that are needed in calculating, for example, the surface area of the cross-section of the canal or the surface area of a farm. We are also going to identify what are the needs of animals living in a farm, especially livestock like pigs, and the different types of feeds they eat, and the 3 basic feeding methods for finishers. Class, what does animals living in a farm need? Exactly, feeds. It is a food given to domestic animals, specifically livestock like pigs and poultry. Why is feed important to animal production? Very good. Animal feed is an important input and frequently the main cost of raising animals. Animal well-being is highly dependent on feeds that reflect a well-balanced nutrition. What are the 3 types of feeds available in the market? Good job! We have starter feed, grower feed, and finisher feed. First, let us try to define what is a starter feed. Correct! A starter feed is given to 10 to 20 kilograms until the pigs are about 3 months old and weigh 30 to 35 kilograms. What are the main nutrients found in the starter feeds? Exactly! A starter feed contains 18% crude protein and 3,250 kilocalories of digestible energy. Aside from starter feed that is needed up to 3 months, we are going to feed our livestock with grower feed. What is a grower feed? Correct! A grower feed is next to starter feed. It is given until the pigs reach a weight of 60 kilograms. It also contains 16% crude protein or CP and 3,200 kilocalories digestible energy or kcal-DE. After grower feed, we feed our pigs with a finisher feed. The growth performance of the pigs is not only affected by the quantity and quality of feed given, but also by the methods of feeding. The 3 basic feeding methods for finishers are restricted feeding, ad libitum, and combination of ad libitum and restricted. How do these 3 differ from each other? In restricted feeding, the amount of feed given is controlled or limited to a certain amount just to satisfy the appetite of the pig. We have some advantages and disadvantages in restricted feeding, and these are correct. The advantages are lower feed cost and better performance, good carcass or meat quality, better health control, and less digestive problems. The disadvantages are lower average daily gain, unequal growth, more laborious and less chance of coping higher market price. Next, we have the ad libitum feeding. Ad libitum feeding is feeding without restrictions and feed is made available anytime. This feeding method should be practiced if pigs finish have high growth potentials and they are in good health. Dry feeds should always be used in this feeding method. It has advantages and disadvantages too. The advantages are exactly higher average daily gain or ADG is achieved, less feed competition, and less laborious. And the disadvantages are correct, thicker back fat, higher feed conversion ratio or higher feed cost, more digestive problems in younger pigs, and less control on health problems. And the last method of feeding is the combination of restricted and ad libitum feeding. In this method, pigs are fed the ad libitum way until they reach the weight of 50 kilograms and fed restricted feeding until they are marketed. With this feeding method, the growth potential of the animal can be maximized during its first 50 kilograms. Restriction is practiced to reduce back fat thickness with the corresponding increase in lean cat yield. The advantages of these methods are higher ADG with good quality carcass, lower feed cost, and better use of good feed or better FCR. And the disadvantages are higher possibility of digestive problem if shifting is not properly done, less control of health problems, and feed intake at the start. Now, let us proceed to feed conversion. What does it mean? Feed conversion ratio or feed conversion rate is a ratio or rate measuring of the efficiency with which the body of livestock convert animal feed into the desired output. In order to determine the FCR or the feed conversion ratio, we must use the formula feed consumed by the pig in kilogram divided by the gain in weight or the kilograms of the pig during market, or that is, FCR is equal to feed consumed in kilogram divided by the gain in weight in kilogram. Example, calculate the FCR of 15 kavans of feeds consumed and the gain in weight of the pig, that is 143 kg. We need to divide them for us to get the FCR. Let us solve by simply dividing 15 kavans by 143 kilograms. And that is equal to? Correct! The answer is 0.105 kilogram. Let us have another example. Calculate the FCR of 8 kavans of feeds consumed and the gain in weight, which is 98 kilograms. Again, to simplify, we need to divide 8 kavans by 98 kilogram, and the answer is... That's right, the answer is 0.082. Return of investment is a ratio between net income and cost of production. A high ROI means the investment gains compared favorably to its cost. As a performance measure, ROI is used to evaluate the efficiency of an investment or to compare the efficiencies of several different investments. To calculate the ROI or return on investment, just simply divide net income with the cost of production multiplied by 100. ROI is equal to net income divided by the cost of production multiplied by 100. Example, Jason has a net income of 5,000 pesos and his cost of production is 20,500 pesos. To calculate for his ROI, just simply divide 5,000 by 20,500 and multiply by 100. 5,000 divided by 20,500 times 100 is equal to? Correct! The answer is 24.39%. Another example, Justin has a net income of 2,000 pesos and his cost of production is 15,000 pesos. Let us calculate his ROI by dividing 2,000 by 15,000 multiplied by 1,000, and the answer is... That's right! The answer is 13.33%. Based on the given example, who has the higher ROI? Who gains more compared favorably to its cost? Very good! Jason has higher ROI. Next, it is also important that you know about area. What is area, class? Great! Area is the amount of space inside the shape. It is always measured in square units, such as square inches, square centimeters, square feet, and square meters. One of the simplest formulas is the area of a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is simply length times width, or that is, A is equal to length times width. Other common shapes have formulas as well. The formula for finding the area of a triangle is area is equal to base times height divided by 2, or A is equal to BH divided by 2. And the formula in finding the area of a circle is area is equal to 3.14 times radius squared, or A is equal to the quantity of 3.14 r squared. Moreover, it is important to be able to measure and calculate surface areas. It is necessary to calculate, for example, the surface area of the cross-section of a canal or the surface area of a farm. Now class, are you ready for a quiz? But before that, let us have a short recap. There are 3 types of feeds needed in raising livestock, and these are the starter feeds, grower feeds, and the finisher feeds. There are also 3 methods of feeding the animals, and these are restricted feeding, ad libitum feeding, and combined ad libitum and restricted feeding. We also discussed how to solve the ROI, and the formula is net income divided by cost of production multiplied by 100. The formula for getting the FCR or feed conversion ratio is feeds consumed divided by gain in weight. This time, we'll have a multiple choice type of quiz.
Tayo na, tayo na, tayo na, sa Radyo Eskwela. Tayo na, tayo na, tayo na, sa Radyo Eskwela. Tayo na!
Wow! Adobong manok! Ang sarap naman ng ulam namin! Ang bango pa! Kainan na!
Hep hep hep? Buknoy, may nakalimutan ka ata.
Ha? Wala kuya! Gutom na po ako kaya kumain na po tayo!
Buknoy, nakalimutan mong maghugas ng kamay. Lagi mong tatandaan, bago kumain, ugaliin nating maghugas ng kamay. Ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay ay isang epektibong paraan upang matanggal ang bakterya at germs na lumikit sa ating mga kamay. Ito ay makatutulong upang maiwasan natin ang pagkalat ng sakit sa ating paligid.
Sige po kuya! Uugaliin ko na po ang wastong paghuhugas ng aking kamay bago kumain. Kainan na!
Ang kalusugan ay kayamanan. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
Let us stay home and be safe while we learn and do our lesson. Let us continue education amidst this pandemic. In a city, oh Isabela, we are ready all the time for education, the most powerful weapon that we can use to change the world. Education must continue despite of pandemic. A simple reminder from the Department of Education and this station.
Naku, ang lakas na ng hangin. Paparating na ata talaga ang bagyo. Mabuti na lang, nakita ko ang listahan ng mga dapat ihanda kanina sa Facebook ng DepEd. Ito ay ang tubig, pagkain, ID card, mahalagang dokumento, flashlight at baterya, posporo at lighter, first aid kit, kutsilyo, radyo, kumot, banig, lubid, gamit panligo, at ilang mga damit. Tawagin man kami para sa agarang paglikas, handang-handa kami.
Maging handa sa anumang sakuna. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
Tayo na sa Radyo Eskwela. Tayo na!
Listen attentively to the given statement. Write only the letter of your answers in your notebook. Remember, honesty is the best policy. Number 1. Calculate the amount of feed needed for 100 broilers at 38 days maturity if the amount of feed consumed is 3 kilos per bird? A. 100 kilos. B. 200 kilos. C. 300 kilos. D. 400 kilos. What is the percent mortality if 10 birds out of 100 broilers died due to severe heat? A. 25%. B. 100%. C. 2%. D. 10%. Number 3. You have given 2 liters of water to your 2 heads cow per day. How many liters of water must be needed for 2 weeks? A. 14 liters. B. 28 liters. C. 7 liters. D. 42 liters. Number 4. The price of 1 kilo chicken meat is 120 pesos. How much is the cost of 1.5 kilos of chicken meat? A. 180 pesos. B. 150 pesos. C. 120 pesos. Or letter D. None of the above. Number 5. Determine the number of swine with an area of 30 square meters. 1 square meter is provided for each swine. A. 10. B. 20. C. 30. D. 40. Now, we are ready to check your quiz. Please do it with all honesty. Number 1, letter C, 300 kilos. Number 2, letter D, 10%. Number 3, letter B, 28 liters. Number 4, letter A, 180. Number 5, letter C, 30. How are your scores, students? Did you get all the correct answers? Fantastic! Nonetheless, if you wish to still be clarified with the lessons and other instructions about your additional tasks, you can ask your parent or your guardian immediately or communicate with your teacher for their guidance. In that way, you can easily accomplish other tasks which will also be attached to your learning kits. My dear students, our time is up. For the meantime, we will have to end our session for you to focus on the activity that I gave you. This episode was written by Noveline Ella Duarte together with the SDO Isabela RBI production team. This has been your radio teacher, Ma'am Johanna R. Caro, saying, all is well. Goodbye!
EPPTLE. Your choice, your skill.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela!